Hey everyone, this is Tracy with DIY or Bust. Today I'm going to show you how I am patching in siding on my off-grid cabin. Now the siding that you see behind me, the dark siding, this is beautiful redwood heartwood siding that is, you just can't find it anymore. So what I did was I went to my local orange store and found some siding that's almost a perfect match. And you see the pine siding here next to me is where I filled in a window. Now let me show you how much patching in I need to do. The front wall of the cabin has 3 windows across it, and it was patched in with plywood. And then because it had the side of the weather on it, we put a temporary sheathing on the outside to protect it from the elements. Now if I turn to my right, we'll see I've already patched in, let me back up, I've already patched in the old doorway and the old, I don't know what was there, it was some kind of strange window. I'll be honest, this cabin had some strange features to it, but it's wonderful. Now as I rotate to the right, we have 2 doorways that I've framed in. This I'm calling a ghost doorway because that is for future expansion. But I figured I may as well frame in the doorway while I had it. If I don't do phase 2, I don't get to it. This is gonna be my new front door. And as you see, there were a total of 4 windows across. That one was already closed up. So now I need to close up these 3 windows. I'm actually not going to completely enclose that one because my door will be there. But what I will do is I will make sure that the siding that's missing is patched in so that when I'm ready to cut that for my door, the opening will be prepared. Now this is the worst side. This side had an addition on it and there was a doorway there and all of this basically had to be cut out for the most part. There was a doorway here. So I'm gonna have 1 doorway there and that will be my kitchen wall. So all of that will get patched in and that is the project. Now we get to go outside and start patching it in. The prep work is done. I might have a nail or 2 I have to remove on the outside, but then we'll just start putting the boards in. I'm starting at the top because I want to match these boards up snug to the existing one at the top without any gaps. And these replacement boards are a teensy tiny bit off, so the more rows that I have going up or down, the more off they'll be to the other boards. That's not going to make any difference because these boards literally will never see the light of day once my project is complete. So this is about patching it in with similar materials to keep the aesthetic of the home as intact as possible while maintaining some kind of, not really makeshift, but imperfect weatherproofing. All right, here's the outside. So as you can see, I ended up with 1 row, 2 rows up there. I might even take that other board off. That doesn't look so great. We'll see. Again, this is not trying to be perfect. It's just trying to be something that is gonna work for me until I can do new siding over all of this. I'm gonna put tar paper and put siding over the whole front of it. So I'm gonna measure, cut, and nail. Now, it's longer than 8 feet, I believe. So my boards are gonna have seams. You wanna make sure that your seams are not any closer than 6 inches to each other, okay? Unless we're talking about the seam right here, that will line up perfectly. It's not gonna look great, but I'll caulk it eventually. Hi, I've got the first couple of courses tacked in there. Instead of going up and down the ladder, back and forth, up and down, I'm just doing it right in the middle. Those boards fit almost perfectly. I'm not gonna worry about cutting them to size because it's about maybe 1/3 of an inch that needs to be cut off on that end. So I'm gonna leave it rough, and then after, at the next step, which includes getting it off of the water, I know you see that it's over the water, I'm gonna pull it back 5 feet, and at that point it's gonna get elevated, leveled, and that side piece will be trimmed. But for now, we're just focusing on this. How do I do this? I'm taking the wood, I'm sliding it up into underneath the lip of the board above it. I'm sliding it all the way to the right, and then I'm just gonna tack it in the middle in 2 places, and I'm moving down to the next board. Now, normally you would do the whole board at once. As you go, you would start from the bottom and work your way up. I'm doing the opposite for good reasons, and it should go pretty quickly. I'll do 1 or 2 boards so you can see. That easy. You want to put nails, 2 nails per board on both ends, and a few across the middle. That easy. You want to put nails, 2 nails per board on both ends, and a few across the middle. About half an hour later, I guess it took me to do the rest of those boards. One of the most challenging things is when you're doing long lengths of boards like that, if they're slightly warped, either high, where it's not sliding straight in, or they're warped where they're popping away from the house. You have to put some pressure, you have to use a hammer. It's not gonna just drop in like LVP flooring, but on the side of the house, even though it kind of works like that. So I will be caulking down this seam here where the old boards and the new boards meet to make it more weather tight. And then I will also be throwing some paint on there just to protect these boards because they are not primed, they're not painted, they're just plain. And beautiful, but we need to make sure it keeps the rain out. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, click the like button, subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching DIY or Bust.